Are you really following THM or just kind of following THM? There are a lot of common mistakes that I see with a lot of people. And in my last video, I talked about the top 3 things that I see that can be contributing to stuck or stubborn weight. As a certified Trim Healthy Mama coach, I have been running boot camps for over 5 years where we focus on getting on plan and staying on plan. And I actually work with people in the boot camp one-on-one to make just direct feedback for them on here's how you can make your THM journey so much better. Here's how you can improve what's going on. And it's been really fantastic these 5 years. And I've been so thankful for the chance to get to work with thousands of women now. But one of the questions that we got off of the last video that I did here on YouTube and Facebook was, hey, what does loosely following THM look like? I think I'm pretty well on plan. What does that look like? So I thought I would dive a little bit deeper into what that can look like for you. If you feel like you're on THM and it's just not working as well for you, or you're just not getting the same results, there are several key areas that we talked about in the last video, and I talk about all the time in boot camp. But one of them that we're going to cover today is the first one that I covered last week was just, are you really following the plan? And what we'll talk about today is your e-meals. The one thing that I see most often is either not getting enough e-meals, or you're getting enough e-meals sort of, but you're not really getting a good amount of carbs for an E. Another thing that I see often is going over the carb limit for an E, or not including protein. So when we're talking about our e-meals, we really want a good plate, right? We want to follow the recommendations that THM has given us for serving sizes and E's, which is such a blessing because if I had to calculate carbs on everything all the time for my E's, it might feel like a little much, but THM has actually told us the serving sizes for carbs. Some of them are in the THM Food Analyzer app. The rest are in the books. But basically, they have just some general guidelines for, hey, this is how much you want to portion out if you're having an e-meal. So the first one, not eating enough of an E, or not eating enough E's in general. THM says 5 to 7 E's per week. I have a lot of clients that I work with in boot camp, and we start bumping that up a little bit depending on where you are. I don't necessarily recommend that everybody just jump into tons more E's, but I'll work with clients a lot to make sure that they're getting enough E's in for their body and see how their body responds. Besides not getting the right number of e-meals, you have to get that carb limit in. So if you are always, and this especially, please note, first, this is not medical advice, so please chat with your doctor if you need to. Second, if you're getting your E's in and you have diabetes or insulin resistance, you might need something completely different. And if you're working with me, I will absolutely chat with you about that and what to talk to your doctor about there. But for most of us who are not dealing with blood sugar, insulin resistance, we need to make sure that we're getting solid e-meals. I'll give you an example. I was checking a food journal, and it was a wrap, a low carb wrap, and some berries and some chicken and lettuce and mustard. And they said, okay, well, I had the filling of the wrap was an FP, but I had the wrap and I had a couple berries. So that's my e-meal. Absolutely not. That's not an e-meal. That's an FP. So you need to make sure that you're getting your E's in, and they need to be real E's. We want real e-meals. So that means that you're getting the carbs that THM recommends. So when you're getting something like that, you would need to add a carb source to make that a true E. The wrap doesn't have enough carbs in it. The berries don't really have a lot of carbs. So if you're going for an E, really go for an E. But here's the other side of that. THM doesn't want us going over 45 grams of carbs in an e-meal. So use the serving sizes that THM recommends. My caveat is, of course, if you are diabetic, you're probably eating a little bit differently. Or if you have certain medical conditions, you might be eating a little differently. But for most of us, we can have, a little bit more and make sure that we're getting a real solid E in. So please don't rely on low carb wraps for E's. Please also be sure that you're getting enough protein in. So you want to have a carb source. You want to be under 45 grams of carbs, but you definitely want to be getting enough. So you want to be over over what's available in a carb wrap, or don't just have like a slice of a sweet potato and call it good. We can have up to a medium sweet potato in an E, and make sure you have your lean protein. A lot of times when I'm correcting food journals for my clients in boot camp, if I see something like one string cheese as their protein source in an E, I really tend to encourage getting one of the protein sources that THM has suggested instead. So go for a lean protein source and make sure you're getting enough. We want 10 to 20 grams of protein in every meal and snack. So if you're eating a string cheese and expecting that to provide all of the protein you need for your sweet potato, well, first of all, that's not really, we really want to stick to the proteins that THM gives us. So I really like to see my clients get some good protein in, get something like chicken breast, make sure that they're getting, the full 10 to 20 grams. And for a lot of my clients, they do way better at the 20 grams of protein with each meal and snack. And I've noticed a lot of us tend to do better if we're being extra careful to get enough protein in first thing in the morning. So by first thing in the morning, I mean with breakfast, your first meal of the day. Make sure you're not skimping on the protein, and especially not with your e-meals or any meal, but protein is so important. So if you're working on your E's, just make sure under 45 grams of carbs, but stick to a full serving size that THM recommends. If you don't have any contraindications with your health, make sure you're getting protein, lean protein with every meal and snack. And let me tell you, if you are getting your lean protein with your meal and snack, with your e-meal or snack, it helps you feel fuller longer too. So it's really beneficial and helpful to just follow THM's recommendations. And just make sure that you are not thinking you're getting carb sources in, but you're not really using the right carb sources. Berries, you can have up to a cup of berries on an FP. Whenever I see that and someone's calling it an E, I want to say, hey, listen, that could still be an FP. Please be sure if you're having fruit, you can have other fruits with the berries. I'm not saying you can't have berries in an e-meal. You can, but you might want to branch out a little bit. Another thing, just really quickly troubleshooting, if you are stuck or stalled, something that seems to help a lot is making sure that we're not just sticking to one carb source. If you're eating sprouted bread every day and that's your E every day, sometimes branching out from that can help a ton. So that's just one of the things I cover in the stubborn weight week of boot camp, is that we have a whole week where we focus on stubborn weight. And I have a whole workbook page of stubborn weight techniques. Basically, everything that THM has said we can try, that's what I work through with my clients in boot camp. So if you feel like you are stuck or stalled, or if you feel like you can't get on plan and stay on plan, this is the best time to sign up for boot camp, because we have the $99 stay on plan for the holidays course completely free included in boot camp. So this is your time if you're interested. But if you are just trying to make sure you have the best ease possible at home, make sure you're getting a good variety of healthy carbs. Make sure you're getting your quinoa, sweet potatoes, fruit. There's so many fruit options out there. Make sure you're getting, like, mixing everything up, brown rice, beans, all of it, instead of just sticking to one thing every single day for your ease. So that's my little, in a nutshell, common mistakes I see with e-meals. We're going to make this a series, and I'll be coming back to talk about the other common issues that I see that tend to cause people to trip up a little bit on THM or to not get the best results they possibly can. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.